So we have a Dian Hong, a Yunnan red tea or black tea from the 90s. That's all we know. Very old, at least 25, maybe 30, maybe more. Yeah. And I leave it to you for this one. By the way, we don't know the price. I will have to ask tomorrow. And I leave it to you how much you want to. Yeah, brew. Now I would say 90 degrees, but quantity-wise,
I usually do 5 grams for black tea, but
5 grams for 100 milliliters.
But
How much do you do?
idea.
For black tea, 4 grams.
4 grams. So we go, I don't know, 4.5. 4.5.
Yeah, for consistency, we can also do 5.
5.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. We do have 5 grams for most teas so far.
Make it. First of all, it looks very dark. Yeah, you go. I'll see this later. So we have.
It's interesting. I feel like you can kind of make out some buds though in this, but they're not like the usual kind of golden color, but something a bit more faded perhaps.
We are in a new world after the rock teas and the dance song. It's just, I think it's really a good tea to get into the night, especially for you, since you will have to sleep earlier than you usually do, and I have to sleep later than I usually do.
Oh, that's interesting.
It has something old, I would say, a little bit.
I
Like
didn't get
a
much.
lack of aroma.
I didn't get much storage notes at all.
You don't get a lot of storage in
Well,
black tea.
let me have sniff again.
But it is
No, it could be fresh. Like
fresh. But fresh, I don't know. But I
it's
certainly
like
have.
very fruity, but
Yeah, it has. It's not very aromatic. It's like all the high aromatics are gone. That's what I'm.
I feel like it has something that's a bit unusual in a way, but it's I
Yeah.
can't quite say what it is.
Let's see if it comes out with the taste. Or wet leaves.
Yeah.
Here you go. We use the rinse.
oh yeah, completely different.
Then the smell, you mean?
Yeah. It's like old wood. Like it reminds
Yeah.
me of an old sailboat. Like the interior, like wood that was like wet.
Let's get into the mood.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. was thinking it's interesting how in European price, we consider a tea that is 20 euro and a tea that is 40 euro very different in price. Well, in China, it actually belongs to the same kind of price range. 20, 40, it's not 200. It's kind of similar. So I don't think that in China people expect a substantially different taste. While if you take a danson that is 20 euros, a danson that is 40 euros, and a danson that is 150 euros. Of course, the 150 euros for 50 grams, we don't really get it here, but there is over there. From that tea, there you really expect, there's to be a bomb, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But somehow the price of tea is way more constrained in the Western world than it is the price of wine, for example, where you're not surprised if a bottle of wine costs 10 euros or 200. But you would be surprised of the difference between 20 euros and 400 in tea for the same quantity.
Yeah.
Maybe to some extent that might be related to how tea is accessed in a certain sense, or kind of the channels through which it flows, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, probably.
Because a dancehall that is 20 euros for 50 grams and one that is 50 for 50 grams might still belong to the same kind of channel or the same supply chain, maybe.
I think it does, yeah.
Whereas the real difference is found, for example, if you have teas that are not subjected to the open market, for example.
I was speaking today with one of our supplier, and they realized that I got from another supplier some high-end rock tea, and actually not the high-end dancehall. And she told me, yeah, but we also have those tea, but I never proposed it to the Western customers because no one really buy them for that price. It's too expensive. So for the Western market, we have to offer low, maximum, medium range, while Chinese customers, are rather interested in the medium, high range. There is almost no overlap. Although, of course, you also have Chinese that take but it's that there is a lot more willingness to pay a lot of money for tea in China. For those that have the money, of course. But what about the Dian Hong?
My first impression was it feels dry overall. The mouth feels something, but it's a little powdery almost.
Yeah.
Bit prickly.
What are you saying?
Sparkling water, very active, but.
And then taste-wise, sorry, I do feel there isn't that much of a change from kind of regular Hongcha.
Hongcha indeed doesn't age very much, yeah. Probably because it is so heavily oxidized and. Of course, we will not know today the price. This one is just enjoying the tea and see. I think an old tea probably requires also a few brew to get into it. So let's see if it evolves or stay there. Certainly more soothing than the previous ones, just because it doesn't have all that high aroma. All the others all of them were more stimulating.
Yeah.
And sometimes, although sometimes I search that stimulation, sometimes it's even too much, depending on. I like better the second brew.
Definitely has an old taste.
And it reminds me more of a little Feng Chin style tea. So not the gold bath. Yeah. I wonder if we will be able to know more about it.
For me, it tastes like sun-dried.
It's not what?
Sun-dried.
Sun-dried. Tea, yeah. I like the second brew actually. The first one was a little bit oversteeped for my taste.
For my taste, the first one was just right.
Let's see what is this one.
What I mostly want to see right now is if this tea kind of comes together a bit more on the later steeps, because it doesn't feel very coherent right now, I think. It has some interesting things going for it, but just kind of not really coming together at the moment. And especially that kind of astringency that it has feels to me like it kind of interrupts the flow of the tea as a whole. This one definitely feels like the most difficult to evaluate out of all the teas we've had tonight.
I like the aroma, but it is still too pungent. It's not smooth in my mouth. Could be worse. I'm not saying that it's too aggressive or so, but for such an old tea, I would expect more roundness.
Yeah. And it doesn't quite feel.
Now, I don't know if I'm giving you the I don't know which one came first.
Oh, yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, really feeling the charge.
You have to get to sleep.
No, I won't sleep the next few hours.
Really?
No, not in 2 hours.
You can count the sheep. Unfortunately, I don't have 3 rooms unless you want to sleep in the bathroom. It's certainly the warmest room. Oh no, it's late, then we go to bed. Otherwise tomorrow I have intervals.
So, which of the teas was the best for you?
The second one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree. The second one.
Yeah.
Which was not the most expensive, so the second most. Well, we don't know about this one, but I don't think it goes that high. Although you never know, people do crazy things with age. Although I'm pretty sure that this tea back in the 90s was really cheap.
Probably, yeah. But people can always make the argument that they stored it for 30 years.
Exactly. Well, yeah. Well, you know, it all depends about the price. Let's say if the price was, if it is an affordable tea that we could sell for 20-25 euros, then I would consider it, because you don't often get black tea from the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would maybe work as a novelty item, but especially compared to if we're looking at like aged tea, the 2000 TEAWARE, which is a tea that I feel I could drink every day.
Mm-hmm.
This one definitely doesn't feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one, it doesn't really come together for me. It has a couple of interesting things here and there which would satisfy the desire for a kind of novel experience,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think it's something that one would often want to come back to.
Yeah, that's I agree. Yeah. I say if it's affordable, might be worth it, or it would be worth it. If it's not affordable, no.
Yeah.
So it's not a tea that I would sell it as a specialty. So it has to be affordable and just maybe just the price. You pay a little bit the aging, but that's it. So at this point, we will force Sig and Gabriel to bed. Because tomorrow for Gabriele is a long day. What day is tomorrow? Wednesday. Well, today already. It's good, at least no one works in Berlin. At least I don't have anyone to follow. Wednesday is day off in the nannuoshan studio. Alright, let's go.
Yep.
Let's get ready.